Well, hey everyone, my name is Nathan Jones, and if you're new here, welcome. I talk about all things movies, specifically Blu-rays, and that's exactly what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about the films that I picked up for February 2021. Now, I didn't pick up as much as I normally would. As many of you know, if you're new, you might not know this, but at the beginning of this year, I made a decision that when I pick up new titles, I will also be getting rid of some other titles in my collection equal to the amount that I picked up. So that's what we're going to be doing at the end of this video. I'll be doing a giveaway, and I'll be showing you the films that I'll be giving away. So stick around and check out that if you want to be in the giveaway. But before that, I want to talk about the February haul that I picked up. I picked up a lot of titles, like I said. There's actually some titles that are still on their way. In fact, Arrow just recently had their 30th anniversary. They had a small little sale. I got a few things from Criterion, and so those will be on their way, and a new video involving those titles will also come up in the near future. But I wanted to showcase with you what I've already picked up for February because it's near the end of the month, and I decided to make a haul video, and also wanted to do a giveaway. So let's jump right into the titles that I picked up. Let's start off with Hammer. So as many of you know, and you can see right here, I've been going through my Indicator Hammer box sets, but I'm also just going on a Hammer journey. I wanted to, this year, to tackle as many Hammer films as I could and try to pick up as many as I could. So there's some things that I picked up in the collection. In fact, I've been enjoying the Indicator sets quite a bit because there's so much love and dedication that is given to these films. And a lot of them are B films or maybe, you know, less focused on films. Now there's a few that are like really, you know, stunning. Like you could talk about the horror of Dracula and the Frankenstein films, right? These are the bread and butter of Hammer, right? The gothic horror cinema. But I've been watching as many films as they have, and they have so many different types of films. So recently I've been watching the Hammer Volume 3 box set, which just recently I think went out of print from Indicator. And so I did watch the Camp on Blood Island, and I really enjoyed it, and I cannot wait to talk to you about this a little bit later once I am able to watch Yesterday's Enemy, which is the next film in that box set. And then on the side I can see The Stranglers of Bombay and The Terror of the Tongs, which are all a part of that one set, which are some of the earlier Hammer films, maybe the war and thriller films that I cannot wait to jump into and tell you more about in the near future. But with that being said, I actually did pick up a few things from Hammer, from different labels and different places. So let's just jump right into those. All right, so the first film that I got is from 1966, which is kind of right around the time of like the renaissance of Hammer, or at least when they were about to get to the late 60s, that's when they kind of declined. But this is one of the films that I've been wanting to watch and wanted to get for a long, long time. Ever since I watched The Gorgon, I really loved that unique horror monster film that they made, and they made another unique horror monster in The Reptile. And I've been really wanting to watch this one for quite some time. It's directed by John Gilling, and I really like the direction that John Gilling's done in the past. I've watched some of his movies, such as Pirates on Blood River. Really love that movie. But I cannot wait to watch this particular film. But I'm curious to know if any of you have seen The Reptile, and I want to hear your thoughts about it because, yeah, this looks a lot of fun, and I can't wait to dive into this one. Now let's move on to one of the later Hammer Frankenstein films. I wanted to complete out my Frankenstein films. I actually have not seen any of the Hammer Frankenstein at all, any of them yet. But this is from 1970, so one of the latter ones. It is The Horror of Frankenstein right here. We have Ralph Bates, Kate O'Mara, Veronica Carlson, and Dennis Price here. Jimmy Sangster wrote and produced this, or directed this. He didn't write this. Who wrote this? Screenplay by, Jimmy Sangster and Jeremy Burnham. And so I do know who Jimmy Sangster is. I've seen some of his films in the past too, and I like his work as well. But I'm really excited for this one. Like I said, I've not seen any of the Frankenstein films, and so I'm going into them all blind. But I think I might, in the future, when I do tackle the Frankenstein films, I do want to tackle them kind of collectively, and so that's going to be a lot. I think there's like 6 or 7 of them. So, have any of you seen The Horror of Frankenstein? I want to know in the comment section down below. Let's actually move on from here to some other Hammer titles. So now we're going to move on to some sexy Hammer horror, and these are the ones that are a little bit on the X-rated side of Hammer, even though a lot of their films are rated X technically when this all came out, which is really interesting to think about the differences between maybe American and British boards of like certificates and all those different things and how the culture's changed. But anyway, in the late 60s and early 70s, Hammer decided to go like exploitation a little bit, and these are two of the films that I've been wanting to watch for quite some time, and these are some of the fun ones. The first one I want to talk about is Countess Dracula, Ingrid Pitt. That's all I got to say about this one. I have seen parts of this film, but I haven't seen the whole thing. I'm really looking forward to this one. But yeah, this is straight from Synapse Films, and so this is one of the Synapse releases. I've been wanting to watch some more of their films. In fact, I have another one in my other hand that I'll talk about in a second. But the other one that I got was Twins of Evil, and another sexy vampire film. So two sexy vampire films with some nudity and some really great acting, I'm sure. But I'm really ready to sink my fangs into each of these. And so, but yeah, these will be a little bit later on down the road, because I plan on going as much order as I can as possible. So I'll probably talk about these two films with like Vampire Circus whenever I get that film as well. So that is all for Hammer. I also got a Scream Factory, another Scream Factory thing, because I believe there was like a John Carpenter sale that recently happened on Scream Factory's site, and I had to pick this one up. It's one of the films that I haven't seen by him, and it's definitely one of the better ones that I've heard from other people who have seen this film. And that film is Assault on Precinct 13. In fact, I actually have the remake, which I haven't seen either, with Ethan Hawke. But I've been really wanting to watch this film. I heard it's super fun, super gritty, and a lot of action going on in this film. But I've been wanting to watch this one for quite some time, and I've really enjoyed pretty much everything that I've seen from John Carpenter. I mean, that's pretty much a given, and I'm sure many of you in the community already know how awesome John Carpenter is. I mean, The Thing is like my favorite horror film of all time. Big Trouble in Little China is one of the funnest films one of the more fun films that I've seen, and all the films I've seen. But yeah, Assault on Precinct 13. This is one of, I think, his earlier films. So 1976 is when this came out. I'm really excited for this one. But yeah, let's actually move on from there to some modern films that came out recently in the last few years. All right, so the first film that I wanted to bring up, I actually have this on 4K because it was on sale, I want to say, at Best Buy. I don't remember where I got this one. It was like early February. When I picked it up, I got Ford vs. Ferrari, and I got this on 4K. And I've been wanting to watch this one since it came out, but I just never had the time or never really pulled the trigger to pick it up, because it's not really something that I desperately want to watch. But I think it was like $11.99 on a 4K, and I think that's a really good deal, so I decided to pick it up. And I've heard really great things. I've heard it's the ultimate dad movie. As my mustache suggests, I'm becoming closer and closer to a dad, and so Ford vs. Ferrari will be up my alley, down the driveway. Insert car joke. Yeah. Now we're going to move on to a science fiction duo that I've been wanting to watch this. I didn't even know this came out earlier, but you'll see what I'm talking about in a second. All right, so the film that I picked up recently, and I think this is just a recent release. I think it came out in 2019. I don't know. That's what it says down here, at least when the copyright's here. But I picked up the newest film from Benson and Moorhead, and I really love their work. I've really enjoyed Spring, Resolution, and The Endless. A lot of people know them from The Endless, even though I think Resolution's better. Personally, that's just how I feel. And they're connected, and I like that. But anyway, the newest film from this duo is Synchronic. And I've been wanting to watch this for a while now, and I really just love this duo. And they tie in science fiction and horror, and it's just like, it's super great. But I don't really know much about this film. I'm kind of going in blind on this. In fact, I've actually really enjoyed the fact that I've kind of steered away from trailers, and also steered away from just really kind of looking further into things. For some of these blind buys, so for something like Moorhead and Benson, I know I'm going to enjoy their work, and so that's something that's totally okay for me to go in blind. But I'm excited for it, and I know a lot of you have seen it, so I'm curious to know what you think down below. No spoilers, please. That's all for the single individual releases. I actually did get a few box sets as well. One I actually got from Walmart, of all places, which I think is crazy. I actually picked this up when I was just getting groceries, and I just stopped by the DVD Blu-ray area, and I saw this, and I actually had a $40 Walmart card that I got from Christmas, and then surprisingly, this was like $40. And so I'm like, okay, this is free. So I actually finally picked up the Fly collection. And so this has the Vincent Price Fly, this has the Cronenberg Fly, it has a few other things as well. But I'm super excited about this set. So it has the Fly, Return of the Fly, The Curse of the Fly, the Cronenberg, and the Fly 2. But I'm really, like I said, excited about this box set. It looks really, really fun. I love I love the Cronenberg Fly. That's the only one that I've seen, and it's a really, really great film, but I really am curious to know about the original Fly films. So the Fly, the first one right here, came out in 1958, and so it's one of those science fiction thriller films that I've been wanting to watch for quite some time, some horror as well. So let's see, look, Return of the Fly came out in 1959, so just a year later, right there. I just love these original titles. And I believe in the 60s, we have 1965, we have The Curse of the Fly. And that's the last time you would see them until David Cronenberg put out the original one right here in 1986 with Jeff Goldblum, which is just, I mean, that's the legendary one, right? And then The Fly 2, which came out a couple of years later in 1989. And I'm just excited to watch these movies. And Scream Factory put out a really nice box set with it. It looks like it's really well loved and well appreciated, and I think it's cool that we get something like this. And so we'll talk a little bit more about The Fly in a second with my giveaways, actually. But yeah, I'm excited about have this box set. Have any of you seen any of the Fly films besides the David Cronenberg one? I'm curious to know. All right, so the last film that I want to talk about, I know I told you I was going to return to Indicator. I finally got this pre-order that I pre-ordered months and months ago when this was announced, because I was so excited for that first Columbia Noir set. I had to get the second, right? All right, so you heard what I already said. I got the Columbia Noir #2 set. Has Framed, 7-Eleven Ocean Drive, The Mob, Affair in Trinidad, Tight Spot, and Murder by Contract. Now, Affair in Trinidad is the only one I know because it's Rita Hayworth, which right here. But yeah, I'm in Glenn Ford too. So I'm super excited about this. I've been on a noir kick since November. I've hit and miss, here and there. I've watched some noirs since then, and I've fallen in love with that genre. And I'm so excited that Indicator is putting out these box sets, and the third one is on its way in May, I believe, and I pre-ordered that as well. Hint, hint, wink, wink. I haven't even opened this up yet, so I haven't even looked at the details of the films, but I'm super excited about this one. I got number 317 out of 6,000, which I think is one of the earliest limited edition series that I have from Indicator, which is cool. Not that I collect for that purpose. I actually collect these films because I'm generally curious in these movies. And so with all the films that I picked up, I'm also getting rid of some things, and that's what I'm going to go and showcase next. So before we jump into that giveaway, tell me down below, what did you pick up for the month of February? I'm actually curious to know. I'm curious to see what you all picked up, and if there's anything that I should get, I'm curious. All right, so if you notice, I actually got 9 things, and I'm not including the Columbia Noir. That's 6 films, and that's The Fly is like 5 of them. That counts, but also doesn't count. I'm getting rid of the releases that are equal to that. So I got 9 releases, so I have 9 films that I'm going to be giving away. That means if you're interested in joining on this giveaway, make sure to go down in the comment section down below that you're interested, and later on I will be doing a random number generator and picking 2 of you to give out 2 of these releases. The rest of the films that I'll be having, I'll just be donating to my local library, and there's actually a homeless shelter as well nearby that I'm just going to be giving those to them. But the other 2 I can send your way. So what I want you, if you are interested in any of these titles, please just list that you're interested, and then list the one thing that you want, right? Because there's going to be several things. You could just list all of them, but I don't want that. I want you to list one. So just list one thing that you might be interested in. So I'll just go through each of them and kind of explain my process for getting rid of them. But yeah, let's just jump into my films that I will be giving away. The first one is actually a Damien Chazelle film, and I really love Damien Chazelle, but First Man. With Ryan Gosling. This is a good movie. It's not a movie that I think I would revisit that often. It's not a film that I would see myself watching over and over and over again. Although the performance by Ryan Gosling is really, really fantastic, and I actually do quite enjoy this movie. But yeah, I will be getting rid of The First Man. or First Man. I just said the, right. So that's one film I'm going to get rid of. The second one is a Sony Pictures classic film with Josh Peck and Ben Kingsley, and that is The Whackness, which is a lot of fun. This is a really fun film. It's like a stoner film. And it's also like, coming of age a little bit as well. It's a lot of fun, like I said, but it's not something that I would see myself watching over and over again, which you'll see myself saying over and over again when I'm doing this giveaway. If any of you haven't seen it, I would highly recommend it. It's a fun one. And it's a really great time. It's also a little harrowing too because, like I said, the subject material is coming of age, so there's some hard things that are dealt with in this movie. It's got a great cast too. Next is a film that is a really fun comedy that I did enjoy, and I watched it in theaters actually, and I definitely picked this up when I think it was Black Friday last year. When it was like $6.99, so I didn't spend that much on it. But this movie is the Stuber. I was like almost gonna say Kumail Nanjiani and Dave Bautista, but I messed up with my words. Stuber is the film. It's starring Bautista and Nanjiani. I love both these guys ever since. I used to watch wrestling back in the day, so Bautista I've known since then. But I honestly think Bautista is the best wrestler that is actor turned from wrestling, even though wrestling is acting. It's weird, but into like film, right? Like you have Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who's like probably the most famous wrestler that turned actor, but I think Dave Bautista has a lot more going for him. He's got a lot more breadth of creativity. He can do a lot more things. He's not typecast in the same role every time, which I love. But anyway, Stuber. Fun film, really cool buddy cop movie. Well, buddy cop is used loosely, but if you haven't seen this one, it's a really fun comedy. Now we're going to move on from here to a film with Kevin Costner, and I actually picked this up. This is actually one of the first Blu-rays that I got, but I haven't visited it in a long time, and it's not something that I'm super interested in now, but it's a good one nonetheless, and I'm talking about Mr. Brooks. And Mr. Brooks is a really good film with Demi Moore as well, William Hurt, and Dane Cook of all people. And this might be the best thing Dane Cook's ever been in. That's all I got to say about that. But Mr. Brooks, it's a really good thriller about a serial killer. I didn't think I mentioned what it was about. And his like trying not to get caught. And Kevin Costner is the serial killer named Mr. Brooks. All right, so next is a film. It's the first film directed by Guy Ritchie. And it's one that I don't want to explore terribly too much because I like other Guy Ritchie films a lot more. This is definitely the one that put him on the map and the one that a lot of people really, really like. And that is Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. It's a really great gangster film, and it's a film that's really settled in very English. Like you have to kind of understand, I believe, to really fully grasp a lot of the things going on in this movie. You kind of have to understand English society, especially during this time period. This happened in the early 2000s. I want to say 2004. Don't quote me on this. I know people are like typing in the comment section down below when this came out. For some reason, I can't find it, and I'm just using my words to try to find a time when this came out. 1998, maybe. Anyway, Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels. If any of you want this, tell me down in the comment section down below. And then two movies that I actually did talk about a few weeks ago, maybe a month ago, of when I decided to get rid of a few things. In the Eyes of My Mother. This is Nicholas Pesci, I want to say is his name. Really terrifying horror film. Really, really harrowing. It's really short. It's black and white. It's really beautiful, but also terrifying. Yeah, if any of you are curious about this film, let me know. And the other thing is All Is Lost with Robert Redford. A really, really fantastic piece of work that just involves a lot of, non-spoken word. So a lot of nonverbal language going on from Robert Redford trying to weather out a storm, and also just dealing with all the repercussions with that. And you're just seeing that it's like a visual feast. It really is, but it's also really harrowing. And then the last film second to last film that I'm giving away. I mentioned earlier if I was going to talk about The Fly again. I actually do have The Fly in steelbook form from Best Buy. Since I have it in this box set, I don't need 2 copies of it, so I'm going to be getting rid of the Steelbook. So if any of you are interested in The Fly, the David Cronenberg The Fly from 1986, let me know and I can send you this copy. The last thing I want to talk about giving away is the big one, and this is the one that maybe a lot of you might want to get. Because I got 2 box sets, I wanted to get rid of a box set that kind of equals it. And so what I wanted to get rid of is this Oliver Stone film with Kevin Costner. It's JFK. This is the limited edition box set. The limited edition is 6,821 out of 50,000. This thing is like, you know, it's huge, but it has a lot of things with it. And it's a film I've watched twice, but it's not something I would see myself watching terribly too many times. There's JFK documents here. We have a poster, which I won't open up here. We have an Oliver Stone Untold History of the United States right here, Blu-ray disc that comes with it. You have the film itself on Blu-ray right here. It's like a, I want to say, director's cut. It has 4 discs in there. Some of them are DVDs. It has selected from the, it has some photos and correspondence letters from JFK Presidential Library and Museum in here. It also has some stills from the film itself and posters. Here's Kevin Costner being JFK here. And the last thing it has is the director's cut of the film, which I guess is 2 separate things, but right here. Also has some quotations from JFK in this nice paper, like hardback cover book. So yeah, this is a really cool set, and if any of you are really like into conspiratorial theories or just the film itself, it's a really cool acquisition to have. So I am getting rid of this. So if any of you are interested, let me know down in the comment section down below. If any of you are interested in the giveaway, I'm super thankful that all of you are you know, watching this, and I hope that all of you are doing great. Thank you so much for checking this video out. Give it a like, comment down below, share, hit the notification bell, and I'll see you next time. I'm not jonesing around.